welcome to another edition of Family Wealth and Other Musings on the road this week. I'm your host, Becky Easton, coming to you from gorgeous San Diego for the next few days, and then from Disneyland, which might result in some fun podcasts for you. I don't know. We'll see what we get. So anyway, today, with, again, my usual disclaimer that unless we have an agreement in place, I'm not your lawyer, and nothing I should say should be construed as legal, financial, business, or tax advice, because I just don't know anything about your unique situation. I want to talk today about 5 practices for safeguarding your business from wrongful termination lawsuits. And, while I think it's really easy for small business owners to think of your team as a family and believe that they would never sue you, lawsuits filed by employees are actually one of the most common causes of litigation for small businesses. And in fact, nearly 1 in every 5 small businesses will get sued by an employee at some point. And of all of the lawsuits an employee can file against you, wrongful termination is among the most common. In basic terms, wrongful termination is when an individual is fired for an unlawful reason. This includes terminations that violate anti-discrimination and other employee protection laws at both the state and the federal level, as well as terminations that violate employment agreements. Wrongful termination lawsuits can be a huge liability, and they've been on the increase in recent years, especially with so many businesses laying off workers due to the pandemic. Furthermore, these lawsuits can be extremely costly, since regardless of whether you win the case or not, you're still on the hook for your attorney's fees. And given these risks, you really, if you're a business owner, really should do everything you can to protect your business against wrongful termination claims. And you should consider implementing a number of proactive measures to safeguard your business. The following 5 best practices that I'm going to discuss with you are a few of the most effective ways to protect your company from wrongful termination claims. And these measures can not only reduce the chances of a wrongful termination lawsuit being filed against you, but also actually increase your chances of winning a lawsuit should your business ever get hit with one. So let's start off with number 1. You really want to understand the law. If you don't know what constitutes wrongful termination, you can't take steps to prevent it. Discrimination is one of the most frequent bases for wrongful termination lawsuits. Both federal and state law protects workers from discrimination of all kinds, including on the basis of race, sex, religion, national origin, age, disability, and pregnancy. Under these laws, you can be sued for wrongful termination if an employee claims their firing was related to one of these protected classes. For example, if you terminated a female employee and she claimed it was because she became pregnant, she could sue you. In addition to anti-discrimination laws, there are a number of federal, state, and local laws protecting employees from terminations based on a variety of other different causes. Some of these will include disparate treatment, breach of contract, retaliation, and inconsistent application of company policies. While you should do your best to familiarize yourself with employment and labor laws, consult with your attorney, either your personal family lawyer or a family business lawyer, to make certain that your actions, policies, and work environment are in compliance with the latest legislation affecting your particular industry and business. Number 2, ensure that you have employment practices insurance in place. Many business owners do not have the right business insurance coverage, and if that's you, take time to conduct an insurance review this week. I talked a little bit about some reasons that you'll want to review your insurance in yesterday's episode, so head back over to that one and take a listen if you need to learn some more. Business insurance, including employment practices insurance, not only covers a judgment that may be incurred against your business, but it should also provide you with a lawyer paid for by the insurance company in the event that your company is sued by an employee. Third, be sure to implement effective workplace policies and procedures. Knowledge of the law really does you little good if you don't actually put it into practice. Creating clearly defined policies detailing your procedures for hiring, discipline, termination, and dispute resolution is essential. Moreover, documenting these policies and procedures in your employee handbook and in your employment agreements is another best practice. Keep in mind, For all but the most flagrant violations of company policies, an immediate termination can often be quite risky from a potential liability standpoint. To reduce this risk, consider implementing probationary periods for new hires, corrective action plans for underperforming employees, and workplace mediation programs for dispute resolution. Finally, having formal policies and procedures in place for documenting and resolving complaints of sexual harassment, discrimination, retaliation, and other unlawful behaviors can offer your company another level of protection from potential lawsuits. Number 4, be sure to use sound employment agreements with every employee. I think everyone is guilty of this one at some point in time or another as you're building a business. But no matter whether you have 1 employee or 100, you should require every individual who works for you, without exception, to sign an employment agreement. And such agreements can be even more vital if you employ family or friends. Your employment agreements should clearly detail the terms and conditions for the working relationship, so everyone who works for you understands exactly what's expected. Effective employment agreements can protect you from wrongful termination by clearly establishing the employee's responsibilities, your rights as an employer, and the circumstances under which the employment relationship may be terminated. As your personal family lawyer, we can help you or direct you to a family business lawyer in our network who can help you create effective employment agreements for your team to ensure that you have robust contractual protections for not just wrongful termination suits, but every other potential claim related to the employer-employee relationship. And number 5, be sure you're documenting everything. If an employee you fire does sue you, the most powerful weapon in your defense is a complete, thorough, and contemporaneous documentation. The last thing you want is to ask a judge or jury to simply take your word for it when trying to prove an employee's actions provided grounds for termination. Thoroughly documenting all employee incidents, along with the corrective measures you took as a result, can not only provide strong evidence to defend against a lawsuit, but it can be enough to get a claim thrown out oftentimes before it even reaches trial. Ideally, this process should be a collaborative effort with the employee, and all incidents should be documented in writing as soon as possible following the particular action. Collaborative documentation includes having employees read and sign that they understand why disciplinary actions are being taken, and that they agree to abide by any corrective action plan that you require them to complete. We can not only help you develop effective documentation procedures, but also advise you on the proper corrective actions to ensure you're offering your team an appropriate opportunity to rectify their behavior, so termination is always a last resort. And while these best practices can go a long way toward protecting your business from wrongful termination lawsuits, understanding all of the complexities involved with the employer-employee relationship is extremely challenging. With this in mind, you should consult regularly with your personal family lawyer or family business lawyer to ensure your policies, procedures, agreements, and practices are all in compliance with the latest standards and laws. If you're in Arizona or Colorado and find that this is something you'd like to discuss further, you can hop on my calendar for a 15-minute call by calling my front desk at 480-999-4455 or by going directly to my calendar at bit.ly/call Easton Law. And if you're not in Arizona or Colorado, you can find a personal family lawyer near you by going to personalfamilylawyer.com, or you can find a family business lawyer near you at familybusinesslawyer.co. That's .co. Family Wealth and Other Musings is now available for download on most platforms. So wherever you get your podcasts, you can find me. And if you felt so inclined to support the show by liking, following, subscribing, donating, or leaving a review, I would truly appreciate it. You ultimately help boost the show and help more people find me and help me talk to more people. Also, if you ever have any ideas for something you'd like to hear me talk more about, I am all ears. Thanks again for listening in today. This has been Family Wealth and Other Musings, and I'm your host, Becky Easton. Have a great day.